Hello, and welcome back to Roll4It. Right. That was some fun we just had. We just absolutely obliterated some ghouls and quite a few hobbits. So before we get back into it, does anyone want to talk about our charity and the amazing work that they're doing, that we're supporting them doing, and you guys are donating towards their cause, and it's really good of you, and you're all lovely. Who wants to talk about that?
I will, since I done it earlier, but it would basically be repeating exactly what I said earlier since I wrote it down. So
Okay.
let's just pretend that it's original.
Just
we're raising
twist
money.
it back to forwards, like start at the end and finish at the beginning, and no one will ever know.
Charity Water, raising money for we. We're raising money for Charity Water, a non-profit organisation that provides clean water in developing nations, and they build and implement water projects like rainwater catchments. This is totally not scripted, don't laugh at me. Rainwater catchments, water purification systems, hand-dug wells, and stuff like that. They provide safe drinking water, which essentially gives people new opportunities and transforms their lives to a pretty big degree. And it's something like for every $1 invested in improving the local water supply, it can yield between $4 to $12 in return to the local the economy. And the link to donate is tiny.cc/roll4it water. Capitalization doesn't matter. There is links repeated in EE's chat, and I assume in other chats as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And in addition to donating to a great cause that puts all the money, 100% of your money, it goes towards making water available to people who desperately need it. If we pass certain milestones, the group gets some cool rewards. They've already managed to get an extra piece of loot for next session. The poll for that will be going up on the Roll4It Twitter account somewhere between now and next week. And the next one is an inspiration dice to be able to help them out with fights where they desperately need an extra high dice roll. And then after that, it's 1.5 times the XP for the session. And this is a session with ghouls. Ghouls are worth a lot of XP. So just saying. But yeah, anyway, we'll get straight back into it. So, you look around, the vines have gone, Wolfslayer is standing over the parts of this hobbit, sword in hand, panting. She looks up, and the closest person is Meltha. She looks at Meltha and goes, "He irked me.
What'd she say?
He irked me."
Irked you. Okay. Right.
She glances down at her sword, glances up at you, shakes her head, and walks off to the side.
I'm just shaking my head and sort of like looking incredulously, and like, you didn't need to kill him for it. You could have just chopped off his legs, chopped off his hands, like a reasonable person. You didn't need chopping him in half. Now he can't talk to us.
Okay, well, I'm going to grab one of the arrows that the only arrow that I shot earlier, actually, since I can reuse that.
Yeah, it was a miss, so yeah, you can have the arrow back.
Okay. I'll also grab the one arrow that I shot that missed and put that back in my quiver and take another 3 out of my satchel. Damn it, down to 11 in my satchel.
I'm going to go do a momentously pleasurable activity. I'm going to rip out all the tongues of the ghouls that we killed.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Since we need that for our bounty.
There was a ghoul.
What?
And there were 3 other
No.
ghouls. That's 4 ghouls total.
We need to
That's
bring
alright.
something back as proof.
No, I just wanted to eat them. No,
Oh.
I'm just kidding. No, that's exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you go over and you carve out the tongue of every ghoul, and you've got 4 ghoul tongues.
Wonderful, I'm so happy. This is disgusting. I feel filthy just by touching and carrying this. Blah.
While he's doing
you
that,
get out. Have you got
Oh.
like a small knife or something? Do you actually have a knife? You don't, because you don't have any metal.
well, the moment he says he's doing that, I just toss him one of my copious amounts of knives or daggers.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just happy someone else is doing the job.
You try and get hold of their tongues, and they've got fairly large pointed tongues, so you try and grab hold of it, and of course it's still a bit slippery, and your hand just keeps running off the end. You try and hold it tight while digging into it with a knife, and tongues are pure muscle. They are very tough, so you're having to saw through every tongue. It takes you a few minutes to go through every single tongue, especially since they're hard to grip and get a hold of. But you manage to get all your tongues. At the same time, what are the other guys doing? You want to...
Whilst he's doing that, I'm going to start searching around for loot and other things, but the first body I go to is directly to the halfling, who, Wolfslayer, is now a quarterling, basically.
Okay.
So
You would like to roll a investigate check to investigate the body and pick up anything that's got hidden on him.
Yeah, sure. So that's just, I don't have proficiency investigation, but I do have a bonus of 2 to my intelligence, so 6.
Okay.
Back to the
Well, you
rubbish
find
rolls.
the long piped thing that had like a wooden end to it, a bit like a crossbow. So you presume that goes in there, and that's intact. You find the remnants of this smaller one, that just little bits of metal. There's nothing really left, so you just throw that aside.
Yeah.
You find 2 little pouches, which you saw him putting in the end, in addition to the metal rod. You can have all of those.
I would like to pick up my snake staff.
Oh, yeah, sure. You pick up the snake staff in between cutting out tongues. You also find a dagger on his body.
Okay.
This dagger has a weird, intricate zigzag pattern that goes to one end and then immediately comes round in a loop to come back to the other end. It almost looks like sort of arrows going in a circle. But
Okay.
it's not really a circular pattern.
Can I use an Arcana check on that?
Sure.
I would like to assist.
Okay. Do you
You're
want to
cutting out tongues, I'm afraid.
Oh, right, okay.
Ah, I said I would like to. I didn't say I was going to.
Good save. Well saved, indeed. 19 in total.
The dagger is magical in nature. It has some sort of enchantment on it based around time and based around the victim. It does something to do with reading or perceiving or visions. You're not sure exactly what the translation is, but something to do with the victim and using the fact that when they're stabbed, the essence of them is slightly read or absorbed by the dagger somehow, and it grants the bearer knowledge of some sort. You're not sure exactly how it works, but you get that sort of gist. You've got a pretty strong gist of what it's about.
Does this appear to be something that I would need to attune with to use?
Yes, you would have to attune to it. The name of it is the Dagger of Future Past.
How does attuning work? If you're already attuned to 3 things, can you unattune to 1?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this
And
is
then you no
just
longer get
for
the
me
effect.
to know. Yeah.
This staff that I have, I can't remember. Did I have to attune to that as well?
I believe so. I would have to double check, but I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, everyone had to attune to all of them. Well, the only person who didn't have to
Yeah.
attune was Scarlet because they were just arrows.
Oh, no, she got boots as well.
I got boots.
Oh, the
yeah,
boots,
I
yeah.
think.
Right.
Yeah, the boots had to be attuned to.
While we're just here, this is a complete aside. Could you just go over again the qualities of the Pendant of the Undead Tavern? I never actually wrote those down, I don't think.
It gives you advantage on Constitution saving throws against alcohol,
Okay.
and in addition, it will light up in the presence of undead.
Okay.
It's currently ever so slightly shining, but it's not shining as strong as it was during the battle.
Okay.
Scarlet, what do you want to do while people are cutting up tongues?
Okay, well, while they're doing that, I'm going to go over to Squishy and just give him like a quick pet to make sure he's okay. And
Listen to you.
I'm going to go over to where they were all sort of originally standing when we got here, because they were standing around sort of like various bits from the centaurs, and just have a look around, see what's there. If there's anything I can take. Or anything we can find out more about the centaurs, actually.
Sure. You go up to the centaur's bodies and make an investigation roll.
Investigation is... $10.
You look around. I mean, they weren't carrying much. You manage to find that they've got 4 spears lying in a pile nearby. You follow the trail of blood to a hacksaw and to a little sort of portable table that's been set up that they've obviously been, sawed against. And you find a collection of 4, so that'll be 16 centaur hooves that have been sawn off just about the ankle.
Okay. Okay, was there anything, because I was looking around where they were originally standing as well. They had like various bits and pieces like weaponry and stuff like that. Is there anything there I can have a look at?
Sure. Make another investigation check.
Investigation. 11.
You managed to find a purse of 3 gold pieces.
Okay.
In addition, you managed to find 2 short swords, a lantern that is unlit, and
I'll be using
some miscellaneous sort of small knives that look like they're for like skinning. They're sort of trapper knives, designed specifically for taking off things like scales. There's one that's designed for very much for getting under the skin and leathering it off from the muscle. A couple other things like that, and there's a boning knife for being able to section joints.
Well, I'm definitely going to take the purse with the 3 gold pieces. And I'm going to take the lantern as well, because that could come in handy.
Okay.
Everything else is just sort of like standard fare, but I would fill in the rest of the group in case there's anything they want to take.
Are there any arrows anyway? I'm starting to wonder.
There's some crossbow bolts, but there are no arrows.
No, then there's nothing else that I want.
Okay.
Is Aramil finished with cutting out the tongues now?
Aramil, roll 5 survival tests.
What? 5 in a row?
Yep.
I guess this is for taking
each
the
goal.
tongues undamaged or something.
Yeah.
Survival is +3. So 5. So I just roll plus R 5d20 plus 5. Sorry, plus 3. That was plus 3. So how you do it?
It was +3 on
Kind
each
of.
one, effectively.
I can read them like that, yeah. Effectively, you've got a natural 20, a 10, an 18, a 3, and a 12. However, getting a tongue is a fairly easy task. You managed to get all the tongues vaguely in a tongue-like semblance. One of them is a bit ragged. You had to sort of saw through it, and it kind of split in an odd way because it's an odd piece of undead tongue. But you still managed to make it vaguely tongue-looking when you finished off. You've got all the 5 tongues you wanted.
Okay. I want a short rest. You guys tired? I'm tired.
What time is it?
Can we rest?
Is
It's nighttime
it
at this.
still
I
nighttime?
think.
It's been nighttime for at least like an hour by now.
Okay, well, I don't need a rest too badly, so I'll just stand watch and I'll be paying very close attention to my amulet. I want to react if it seems to start glowing at all more brightly than it is right now. But
Like
I'm
I
okay
want to
to
go back
watch.
and see the mayor, but at the same time, I feel like we should just, take a short break, just head right back, rather than camp out in the woods. Don't you think?
Did you want a short rest here? Oh, you wanted to go all the way back. I mean, it took us half a day to get back.
It took you at least, I'm talking about maybe 4 hours to get here.
Oh, that's a lot less than I was expecting, but still, that's a lot.
Oh, it took you, about 3 hours to get to the edge of the rocky area, now to get into the rocky area. And now
Well-
you've been in the rocky area.
Melfast, you were the one who didn't want bedrolls. So,
Actually, I wanted the bedrolls. Wolfslayer talked me out
Did
of
you?
it. Yes.
well, we don't have them. So,
No.
either we short rest and go back, or we can just sleep on the rocks. You pick.
I'm used to sleeping wherever I can lay my head down, catch a few minutes of sleep. I'm talking to the wrong person. You're trying to convince me to go back.
Well, you made it sound like it was like really far away or something. It's not.
4 hours walk in the night through a forest, possibly full of ghouls,
Yeah, that's my
And we all
considerably
have-
more dangerous.
And we all have dark vision, and we're
Yes.
all used to being in the woods.
No,
Because she's a ranger, I'm a druid, you're a rogue. Like, what? It's just
I'm
the woods.
used to the cities, mate. This is all
Okay,
new
Mr.
to me.
Mr. Orange Eyes, I can't see anything. From now on, your nickname is Blind Man. That's
You seem to be missing my point about it being dark. It's nighttime. The ghouls attack at night. If we head back to the city whilst it's night, knowing that they attack at night, and it starts to get light, we'll meet the horde coming back out. I think we're probably safer staying where we are in a clearing where we've got fairly good vision of everywhere around us and where I can know if something's coming our way.
I'm with
I mean-
Melfast on this one.
so you're saying if we go back, we get more ghoul tons to give to the mayor.
I'm
Is that what I
saying if
heard?
we go
Is that-
back,
I'm pretty sure.
I'm saying if we go back, are you going to be able to call that serpent out again? Are you going to be able to turn into a giant wolf again? Because
Yeah.
I don't think you can. Really? Okay,
If
well,
we have a short rest. That's why I want a short rest.
fine.
Let's hang
If
out
that's
for an
what you
hour
wanna
and
do.
then head back.
Okay. If that's,
Okay,
that's
what-
what you want to do.
But one point of clarification: the snake staff. I read nothing in the description that said that I can't summon it again. just that it wouldn't heal between sessions unless I had a long rest. Is that not right? It
Okay,
suffered 12
I'd have
points
to
of
check.
damage.
Sorry.
I,
Here's
know
a
I thought its health came back when it went back to a rod, but I'll check. But maybe okay.
Here's a description that I have, which says, I can just link it if you want, but it says, on your turn, you may mentally command the snake. You decide what action it takes. If the snake is reduced to 0, it dies and reverts to staff, and then it shatters and is destroyed. But it says nothing about not being able to summon it more than once per day. There's no.
Okay.
It's just it takes an action. I can turn it into a snake whenever I want. I
If the staff
don't see.
If the snake reverts to staff form before losing all of its hit points, it regains all of them. So when you turn it back into a staff, it regains all of its hit points.
Okay. So, as expected then, Malthus, yes, if you give me like a half hour, yeah, I can absolutely turn into a big wolf and rip your face off. Or the face of ghouls off.
That's
You
fine.
pick.
That's fine. I just wasn't talking about going back at all.
It doesn't say you can use it once per day or once per long rest. Not that I can see at a glance. However, as a GM, I'm going to rule that to prevent the ability to go, snake, no snake, snake, no snake, snake, because it does heal every time you take it back into a rod. So it'll be once per long rest.
Okay, very well.
Which is
Not
the
short
information I was
So I
working
can't
on
do it.
earlier. Because this was a conversation we had earlier. Your nickname
That's
is
fine.
I can't remember conversations I had less than 3 hours ago.
True. Very well. But I can still turn into a big bad wolf that rips
That's
hobbits
fine.
in half.
That's fine.
So, why would we stay in the woods?
Well, my thinking is, okay, we're going to get 5 gold for what we've done. We've got 5 tongues, but we get an additional bonus of, because the mayor said we can get a bonus of 30 gold if we are able to actually prevent,
Yeah.
future attacks. We're already in the forest.
Yeah.
We don't have much to go on. We had the centaurs were pretty much our only lead. If we go back now, we're not going to get that bonus of 30
Exactly.
gold. I want
I'd
the
rather
bonus.
stay out. I'm happy
Okay.
for us to have a short
But-
rest.
Okay, we don't have to go back, but why did it seemed to me like the hobbits were the ones that were cutting off the hooves of the centaurs. Is that not what you saw? Because
At a glance, that was my guess. But now we don't know.
Why are the hobbits killing centaurs while there are ghouls around? That's weird.
A hobbit and a human, just because they're halflings doesn't mean that they act with the interest of all halflings in mind. They could have just been bandits. I don't know. We just happened upon them at the wrong moment. Now we'll never know. Unfortunately, because of someone staring pointedly at Wolfslayer.
She glances behind herself at you, and just gets back to staring into the distance.
Have we checked the others' bodies to see if there's even just the slightest clue of where they've come from or anything that could help us, like why they've done this to the centaurs?
I've only checked one. I haven't
Okay,
checked
well,
the
we'll
others.
check. We'll check the others' bodies.
Okay, group investigate roll.
Okay. I rolled an
19
8.
for me.
Okay, so you walk up to a few of the bodies, you poke and prod them. Melthas just turns the bodies over, and you're not sure. There's 2 halves. There's a lot of organs. You're like,
I think it was cut in
Aramel
half.
manages to turn over the body of the human and find a crossbow lying under
Yay.
him, basically hidden until now. However, Scarlet walks over to where they were talking beforehand and moves some of the brush aside and finds a sort of a pattern of handholds where rocks have been slightly disturbed and some vegetation has been moved up the side of the embankment. And looking over the top of the embankment, when she raises her head, she can see 3 bedrolls in 3 tents that are currently not up. They're currently packed down, try and minimize their cross-section. And you also find bits of hide. There's a bear hide there that's been sectioned, and there's a pouch which contains some miscellaneous teeth, some sort of beast maybe. And you actually find a steel bear trap, currently unloaded.
Okay. Well, we have bedrolls if you want them, Melphus.
Have you?
So do we need to specifically state that we're going to pick up the crossbow? Does someone want the crossbow?
I don't.
We should sell it. Yes.
Yep, pick it up. I'm
You have
already
to-
carrying
you have
quite
to
a lot of
Um,
loot at the moment.
Did you sell all that crap you got back at the village?
Nope.
Yeah,
At this
I
point-
still things to sell.
Yeah,
At this point, you cannot take on
Yeah.
any more bulky stuff like crossbows.
There's
or
no way I'm
Unity
going to be able to
advantage.
carry it.
You are currently carrying a lot of other equipment that you haven't sold.
Why haven't you sold that?
We've kind of been busy.
Because someone didn't
need to
want to
point
take
it
the
out.
bloody offer that the halfling was going to give us in the town. Unfortunately. So has Scarlet related this information from the camp to the rest of us?
Yeah, I would fill in like what I found up here. I'm assuming like you would be able to come up here as well.
Yeah, well, once you point it out.
Yeah.
Well, this kind of changes things. These could have just been hunters. Granted, hunters who were killing centaurs, which does kind of stray away from just hunting, but this could have just been an unfortunate coincidence for the centaurs. Not saying that's the case, but by the looks of all the rest of this, they were out hunting.
So have we had our long rest, or have we had the short rest, or are we still? Like,
No, you're still
exploring?
doing active stuff. You can't have a short rest while doing active stuff. Scarlet then walks over to the centaur bodies and looking at them. For your investigation roll, I will let you know that there is some like holes in the centaurs that look like they've been hit with an arrow, except there is no evidence of an arrow in the wound, and there does not look like there's any evidence of an arrow being pulled out of the wound. There is a small hole at one side, and there is, on some of them, no exit wound. On some of them, there is a large chunk of flesh that seems to have just been blasted off the back.
Okay, so again, I would relay this information on that there's basically various holes in the centaurs that look as if it could be caused by an arrow, but there's no signs of arrows anywhere or that it was indeed an arrow.
Saying that,
So,
I ask to Wolfslayer to just recount the wound that she took from this weird long pipe thing that I am now carrying.
Holding her two-handed sword, she just points at the pipe that you're now holding with the two-handed sword in one hand, and then taps her chest, where you can see there's a hole that is bleeding. There's another hole in her shoulder that's bleeding, which is a little bit deeper. And it looks very similar.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say that it seems reasonable that this caused that damage, however it works.
She flexes her shoulder, and something pops out and falls to the ground. It bleeds a bit more.
She should probably get that sorted. If we're going to have a quick rest, then let's do that. Okay.
yeah.
But I think we should carry on. And again, I'll stand watch. I don't have any particular need to rest right now for an hour or however long.
Are you going to do a short rest or a long rest?
But we have the
Aramil needs a...
we have the beds. There's only 3 of them. Bed rolls. Does it make any huge difference? I mean, if we have 4 people and we're all trying to do a long rest, but I only need a 4-hour period to meditate. So
For a person has to sleep for 6 hours of that 8-hour long rest. The other 2 hours have to be spent doing something fairly inactive, like just watching, being on guard duty. You need to do 4 hours, so you can spend 4 hours on guard duty. But you've got 4 of you, so effectively you can spend 4 hours, 6 hours, everyone, sleeping or meditating and then just lying down for 2 hours. And then each person then takes a 2-hour watch. So it works quite nicely that way.
So it's up to you guys. I mean, it's the middle of the night, right? It's already nighttime, but we can see at night. So I'm willing to carry on if you want to. But I feel like if
ready
we
to
heal up,
carry on.
that'd be fine.
But it comes down to I'm not wounded, so I'll defer to those
See,
who need to be healed.
Yeah, I see Scarlet's still wounded, and Wolfslayer, I actually only tracked 2 points of damage, but I think she took more than that. So
She glances over at you at the mention of something about her being damaged. She says, just a flesh wound.
oh, now she's going to act all tough, huh? Let's wait till next week where she won't talk to me. Okay.
All right, so shall we do a short rest then?
I'm fine with a short rest, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm good with that.
Okay.
So wait, short rest
Wolfslayer
recovers
looks over his
or not?
shoulder and says, Wolfslayer looks over his shoulder and glances at you and says, I'll take the first watch.
Okay.
Short rest does not recover spell slots, does it?
No.
Okay.
Long rest? Or are you doing a short rest? Up to you guys.
I can turn into a wolf or any other animal twice more before the next long rest, but I can't do any healing. So, at this point, I almost feel like a long rest would be better. I think we should just sleep for the night.
What kind of idea of how late it is would Malthus have?
You know vaguely that the sun went down about 2 hours ago, maybe by now.
And a long rest is 8 hours, so it's going to be morning.
Yeah, the longest is 8 hours.
It's going to be
It's gonna be morning. It's gonna be morning by about 2 hours. Yeah.
But we can rest up above. I mean, he said that it was a. We found like handholds in the rocks. It was elevated.
Yeah, it's just
It was
embankment
a
area.
viewpoint, an embankment that we climbed
My
up.
concern
to find
isn't
the
our
bedrolls.
safety. It's that if we rest for a long time, whatever trace of these ghouls is going to be long gone. Right now, they're likely out and about. We've seen that. They attacked us. There's probably more attack in the town. If we're clever about this, we can track them back as they're returning to wherever they're going. And there's 30 gold in this for us. That's not a small amount of money. But it will mean that we're going to have a short rest, long enough to catch your breath, but then we're going to have to make our way and try and catch them on the return. And I don't think we should kill them. I think we should follow them, find out where they're going to first. We can decide what to do later.
I'm perfectly okay with that plan, yeah.
All right, sure, let's do it.
And so you're taking a long or short rest?
Short.
Short. But when
Sure,
you get hit,
okay.
when you get hit in the balls, I'm not healing you.
In
So
which
you know.
case, you walk over to the top of the embankment and you just effectively sit around. You roll up the bedrolls, you use them as cushions. You cook a little bit of food on the dying embers of a little hearth fire that's nearby. Just whatever rations you've got on you. You can all spend hit die to recover hit points right now. Wolf Slayer is definitely going to do that.
I will not.
Wolf
But
Slayer
I
is
can
now
too.
uninjured.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not in immediate need, so I'm not going to. I'm fine.
Okay.
You can only use hit die while you are doing a short rest, though. Is that right?
Yep.
So if you have them, you recover half of your hit die every time you long rest. You might as well. Is that correct?
If you need healing, use your hit die, basically. Unless you're planning on having lots of
Scarlet.
short rests over a very long period of time.
You might as well, because you can get it back next time you sleep. You have 2 hit die, don't you?
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's true.
So you get it back no matter what. The next time you long rest, there's no point in saving it.
During the long rest,
Roll one of them.
Can
You get your
Malthus
constitution added.
kind of puzzle over this long pipe thing? It's not going to try and do anything
Sure.
specific
It's
with
a short rest. You can puzzle over something during a short rest. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
What's your constitution modifier?
Plus Constitution would be +2, so 3.
Yep.
Which
So you're
is
fully healed.
fully healed, yeah.
Very nice.
Okay. Make a intelligence check.
How do I just check against a stat?
D20 plus your attribute modifier for intelligence.
Okay.
11.
Is
What are you rolling for, Scarlet?
Oh, was it someone else who did the
Yeah.
intelligence?
just me? I'm trying to work out this
Scarlet
long
gets out
pipe
like a
thing.
crossword.
18.
Okay, Malthus, you look at it, you vaguely find it familiar sort of in design. You're not too sure about the intricacies. You know it works a bit like a crossbow. You're very aware that pulling the trigger fires whatever it is. You know previously that the ramrod puts something down and then you can pull the trigger. So you know you need to push something down and then you need to pull the trigger. You know something about that. So you know vaguely how to load it and fire it. However, you're sure that something to do with the catch down here was used, but you're not sure about it.
Okay.
You're like, what does this catch do? Oh, it clicks.
Okay.
Okay. You think you've got it in a position where you're ready to fire it. You're not certain, but you think you've got it in a position where you can be ready to fire it.
Okay. Have I loaded it?
If you want to.
No. I think caution is advised with strange wands that sometimes explode and sometimes put holes in things where arrows should have been. Yes. There's definitely caution here. He's literally just trying to work out as much as he can without doing something that he thinks may result in him being on fire or dead, especially dead. Very much dead. Doesn't like that.
Okay.
Very well.
In which case, everyone make perception checks.
Okay.
$21.
17.
2. I'm far too engrossed in my weird pipe thing.
Melfas, looking down the barrel. Oh, smell of rotten eggs. Ugh. But other than that, your hour passes uneventfully.
All right.
Wolfslayer looks over her shoulder at you guys and she says, I'm gonna go think through a few things. I'll catch up with you later. And she walks off.
Okay. At this point, given that Malphas is currently attuned to the pendant of locating, is Squishy somewhere I can see?
Yeah, Squishy's with you guys.
Okay, that's fine then.
Squishy is injured, isn't he?
I
No, he
believe
got healed. Yeah,
He got
he's
healed.
healed. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Squishy head, yeah. He'd suffered damage, but I healed him to full. Or actually, Scarlet healed him to full.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're about roughly somewhere near midnight right now.
Okay. Right. Has my pendant changed in intensity, the glow in it, at all?
Maybe ever so slightly fainter now.
Okay. Well, what I would like to suggest is if we cautiously make our way back towards the town, whilst keeping an eye on this pendant, and see if it gets more intense the closer we get to town, or basically just try to work out what takes us further away or closer to the undead.
Okay,
using
so
the
you're,
pendant.
you're choosing to walk towards town. It's very, very faint. And it does take quite a step to increase the brightness.
Okay.
So you how far do you want to walk? How long do you want to walk for before you'll give up? And I can tell you if it changes or not in that time.
How long... Are you okay with this plan, Aramil, Scarlet?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's, I think, our best option just now, so...
Aramil? Are you
Yeah.
alright with this, yeah?
That's fine.
Shall we walk for an hour, maybe? See
Okay.
if there's any kind of difference to it? Okay.
Sure.
You walk for an hour through the forest, back in the direction of the town.
Mm-hmm.
It briefly gets fainter, slightly maybe. You're not sure. It's very, very minimal change if so, before becoming maybe slightly brighter towards the end of your hour.
Okay. Well, if the ghouls were moving away from us at the time, towards the town, if they were moving faster than us, then it would explain why it was getting fainter. But if they're now heading back in our direction, I mean, we've just been walking in one direction the whole time, so the ghouls, or whatever, have to change direction for it to grow faint and then grow strong.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're the only ones moving in a straight line, there has to be a change in something else to have affected that. From what Dvoshka said, they attack at night, more or less at nightfall, and then leave in the morning. It's midnight right now, or roughly. I don't think it's likely that they're coming from behind us and going to the town at this time. It's more likely they're coming away from it, but that still wouldn't make that much sense. I'm not sure. What would you like to do?
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a good point. Again, it comes down to we really don't have much to go on when it comes to these girls.
Can you have a look around? I mean, they must have made some sort of track moving through here.
Okay, I will have a look around, see if there's any tracks.
Okay, you
probably have
haven't
to circle
followed
a
any
while.
tracks to where you are.
Yeah.
You literally just walked straight back, following the
We'll
direction you
probably
went.
have to
So you are
circle while
looking to
looking
pick up
for
more tracks.
Yeah.
Okay. Make a survival roll. It'll be about an hour to look for some tracks?
I would like to assist.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled.
Well,
22.
Doesn't matter.
you can assist and now roll if we can give her advantage if we need to.
Survival was +3. Sorry, I like to chime in, you know, for fun.
It's okay. I appreciate your help.
It's 14.
No, that doesn't assist. But Scarlet, you managed to find some tracks. You find some tracks from probably the night before, going back vaguely in the direction past where you went, vaguely, give or take about 15 degrees of angle. And you also find some tracks going vaguely in the direction of town, fresher, maybe 3 hours ago.
Okay, so I would tell Melfast and Aramo that there's fresh tracks essentially from the last 3 hours that are heading in the direction of town.
Well, the first thing that suggests is that obviously they're in town right now. What's the pendant look like after an hour's worth of time has passed? Has it changed at all in an appreciable way?
Still vaguely the same brightness. Nothing.
Well, whatever's
nothing
happening,
major.
they're not approaching quickly or moving away quickly. I'm going to guess they're in the town right now, and whilst there's a part of me that wants to go in there and see if we can help, if we want to work out what this is, whilst
We need to follow
they're
them.
not wherever they come from, it's going to be easier for us to get wherever they came from. Do you think you can follow the fresh tracks back the way they came?
It's definitely worth a try, yeah. So, okay, so we'll follow those tracks backwards. Would I roll for that?
Which you
Make
need
a
to
survival check.
Survival?
Aramel, do you want to assist?
Before I press the button.
Yes, I do want to assist. I like assisting. I like rolling dice. I rolled a 9.
You're not
really
doing
good.
very well with the assisting.
You. Okay,
It's okay.
Scarlet,
I
roll
still
it.
appreciate it.
We
Fail.
all appreciate it.
15.
No, I'm normally pretty good at that, but
15, you just managed to make out the tracks going back because you almost lose them a couple of places where they go through a stream and another bit where they go through some thicker undergrowth. But you manage to follow them back and you get to the edge of what is effectively a very large clearing. We're not really talking so much a clearing as a break in the forest almost, maybe 300 foot wide. And vaguely in the middle, maybe slightly further away than the middle, is what we would normally see as some sort of small hill. For
Burial
anyone versed in geography, it'd be something like a Rush Montane or something. It's a small hill that begins a little bit sharply and then tails off. But you can see the side of it seems to have caved in, and internally there seems to be some sort of structure. Possibly, as Malthus says, it could be a burial mound.
Is there
Hey, what?
What's the amulet like right now?
It is slightly brighter than it was.
okay. I want to whisper to my companions here that hey, I have no spells, so I'm gonna turn into a wolf.
Okay.
I can't help you,
Okay.
so
No, it's fine.
I'm gonna turn into a wolf now.
Giant horse wolf.
Horse wolf. Yeah.
Very pale fur appears. Massive, toned muscle, growling.
The way you say horse wolf just
sure.
makes me think of the way they name dogs,
And
like
I'll-
a bulldog or a wolf hound. Is this a wolf that is specifically bred for its ability to hunt and slay horses?
Yes.
With
it is.
ease,
And
probably.
Fantastic.
Make a
and I'll go
perception
ahead-
check.
a perception with advantage since I am a wolf
Yeah.
horse
with
wolf.
my hearing and smell.
Okay.
Which is a
you can
21.
smell dust, old sort of stonework, and you can smell rotted necrotic flesh that is sort of almost petrified and dried. And in addition, you can smell maybe not fresh, but recent blood.
Okay, so rather than charging off like Wolf Slayer might, I kind of like look toward my companions and like kind of like slowly work my way in that direction, and I'm gonna pursue that smell, but not on my own.
Okay. Well, the moment that Wolf Aramil seems to be indicating it's going to move somewhere and seems a little bit trepidatious about doing it, I take the hint that there's something afoot, and I draw my bow, and then I make the follow cautiously.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also going to grab my bow out and follow as well.
I am specifically at the moment whilst I'm following, I am keeping in mind, I'm thinking, where is Squishy? Almost constantly.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's fine.
He's with you, but he's a bit afraid. He's
Okay, I'm just keeping an eye. If he starts getting suddenly more distant than he seems like he was a few moments ago, I would like to say that I'm dedicating a part of my sort of presence of mind to keeping an eye on where he is.
Okay. He's keeping close.
Okay.
He's still a bit dodgy about the direwolf, but he's mostly fine, especially from the natural 20 earlier. So he's keeping slightly close, maybe to Scarlet rather than the direwolf, but he's not gonna run off right now, not until something changes.
Metasapia thinks we should dig into that thing and sleep there. I think that's a fantastic idea. No.
You get up to the caved inside of this small hill, and you look inside, and you can see, it's very dark inside, but you can see coffins. You can see coffins that are mounted on the walls vertically as well. You can see the back wall. There is some writing. That's what we get by passive perception. If you choose to do like walk inside and do active perception, you will be able to see more, especially if you get out some light. But that's what you can see passively.
By the way, just with passive perception, what is passive perception? What should it be at?
What do you mean, the number or what I talk about when
What
I say
it,
do
yeah,
passive
the
action?
number. Because I haven't written that down.
Passive perception is 10 plus your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency if you have proficiency in perception.
So it's just 10 for me then. Okay, thank you.
I'm 15, if that matters.
Okay.
Mentally
I don't
or
think it does.
physically?
From a glance
Right,
inside
so-
with our dark vision, can I see anything in there that looks like a ghoul that is just not moving yet?
Make a perception check.
Okay. 10. Same as my passive.
No, it looks to be abandoned.
Okay, then I'm going to step inside.
Okay.
We've moved from the last time. We were outside. We moved forward. Can I do another smell / hearing
The
test?
same thing is, what you're getting ready. You're just getting those smells, maybe a bit more amplified.
Okay,
I'll
well,
follow
I'm
him.
going to head in as well.
Okay. So you step inside, you walk in amongst the burial tombs, and at that point, a ghoul drops down from the ceiling and lands next to you. One rises up from behind a tomb nearby, and a bigger one with darker skin, bigger, more muscled, looks at you as it walks forward from the front and rushes in to attack you. They get a bonus round since you were surprised.
Okay.
And also, I need to put on music.
Yay! Okay. So I assume we're rolling for initiative, even though they get their bonus attack round.
Yep, roll for initiative.
And I'm a wolf, so I get dexterity.
Okay.
Who's rolling for Squishy? Because he's with us.
Aramil, Melthas, Scarlet.
Squishy is this. 9.
9.
Okay.
Okay, and also, I should put on the ambient for tombs, even though it's just going to be in the back.
Melphis with a 19. Very nice. So, 14.
It means
Okay.
that my next attack is going to be a 1. Just
Did,
putting it out
did you
there.
roll for Wolf Slayer?
She's not with us. She left.
Says not here.
She didn't come with us.
No, she
That
left.
Stupid bitch. What a bitch.
How?
I'm gonna tell her that.
Okay.
Dog thinks he was rude too.
You did, yeah.
Oh, and dapper.
The first ghoul from the side rushes in at Scarlet. Massive claw attack. Hitting with a 14.
Fuck, okay.
Does that hit?
What's your armor
Does
class?
that hit?
14 for
Okay.
the roll, not the damage.
Yeah. So that's a
What's
hit.
your DC?
Okay.
Okay. My armor class is 14.
Okay, that's definitely hit just. So it just digs in below your armor and manages to get in, pulling its
Okay.
claws up through the armor, doing 8 points of slashing damage. as it digs in between your ribs in a few places, managing to actually penetrate deep into the muscle around your rib cage. You also have to make a constitution test.
Oh dear.
Constitution. 13.
You feel something tense, like your body's fighting you, but you manage to throw it off. The other ghoul runs in from the side at Malthas. Actually, this one's behind you. This one runs in behind at Malthas. Malthas turns around at the last minute at the hit, the sound of the footsteps running towards you. They're not completely silent. They did drop down. And the ghoul comes in to slash. Ghoul completely whiffs it. Claws going over you as you sort of duck to the side. Claws hitting the tomb nearby, dragging down scratch marks in the solid stone. And the big one in front of you, this bigger, very muscled, thick-shouldered muscles rippling along it. As you can see, basically all it's got is like a small loincloth. Every section of it is perfectly sort of visible muscles bulging out of necrotic skin. It looks at the direwolf directly in the eyes and runs forwards.
Iron Man's Hulkbuster armor to Rumba's direwolf.
Claws smashing over the top at the direwolf. The direwolf ducks to the side, and the claws smash into this sort of old wooden construction nearby that at one point was some sort of altar, now kind of very old, and just completely splinters flying everywhere, bits of wood just shattering underneath it. He turns around to look at the direwolf, then squaring off. Okay. Surprise round is over.
Okay.
Aramel.
With a 21, thank you. Yes, I will take first action. By all means. Being that I don't like to attack the strongest target ever in any game ever that I play ever. Who's currently engaged? We have 3 ghouls.
Malthus is engaged about 5 feet to your left. Scarlet's engaged about 5 feet to your right, and you're engaged with the one in head of you. Squishy's also engaged with Scarlet.
So we're within combat range. So even if I were to engage the one that is attacking Scarlet, it will not
you'd
hit.
have to move. There's like terrain in the way because there's bits and bobs of tombs and stuff.
Okay, so I can't disengage the one that's attacking me to attack another one.
Not without
them...
it getting an opportunity attack.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just attack the one that's right in front of me then. The big one, the big ass ghoul, as I've numbed it.
However, have to make a Constitution saving throw.
What? Okay, fine. I will, but why? I'm curious.
Also, you have proficiency on smelling tests, don't you?
I do.
You have to make this test at disadvantage. As this stench suddenly starts to overpower you, this thing in front of you is giving off this horrible necrotic stench that saturates your very pores. Oh, that is a massive fail.
I rolled a 4, yeah.
You are unable to concentrate. This stench of necrotic, dead flesh getting in through your nose, filling your head. You counts poisoned for the rest of the turn. Just the rest of this turn.
What does that mean? Poison.
Disadvantage on all ability checks and attacks.
Okay. I did not lose the concentration from wild shape though. I'm still direwolf.
You don't have to concentrate on it.
Yeah, I am a wolf.
Yeah, you are a wolf.
Be the ball.
Oh. So I get a disadvantage on my attack, but I have an advantage on my attack if he's within 5 meters of any other allied
5
unit.
feet, and he's not really in combat with them. You're 5 feet away, but he's like an extra foot in front of you. He's not 5 feet away from them. You all just count as separate for now.
Well, I can't go anywhere without giving anyone else an attack, so I'll just do a disadvantaged attack against him,
Okay.
which is at +5 to hit with disadvantage. So here's my hit roll, which is a 9.
So unlucky.
You take a
Yeah,
bite
well-
at it, but it just steps to the side without much thought, muscle rippling as it just moves, and just watches you as it bite past it.
That 20.
Okay.
Lost.
It's
the
just there taunting you.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
Oh, bad.
Hey,
Bad.
he missed me.
True.
It's true. That is true. Right, that would make it Melthas.
Okay. Now, again, you said that no one is within 5 feet of anyone else. Is that right? Or
You're not within 5 feet of the enemy combatant, and no enemy combatant is within 5 feet of another friendly unit other than the one it's engaged with.
Yeah. What I'm trying to work out is, would Melfast be, from the way I'm thinking, the giant lumbering, this would actually help with the map, by the way, but the giant lumbering ghoul is engaged with a Roomba, because what I'm trying to, in my mind, we're basically triangles. Scarlet is over here, fighting with a ghoul. I'm over here, fighting with a ghoul, and Roomba's down here, fighting with a ghoul.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I'm
work
start
out...
drawing on the map.
Okay.
Yeah, I've pretty much sketched a triangle on here with their positions. So that's how I was imagining it.
What I'm trying to work out is, although a Roomba in direwolf form couldn't move around terrain and things like that to get to Scarlet or my combatant, is the same true in reverse, considering he's fighting an enormous one that's basically effectively behind us. Could I
You
turn
have
and
to
engage
move out
it?
of range.
I would have to
of
move out of
your
range.
combatant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Normally a disengage is an action, is that right?
It's a action, yes. However, for you, you've got cunning action, don't you?
Yeah, so I can do it as a bonus
do it as a
action, but I'll
bonus.
still take an attack of opportunity, is that right?
No, if you choose to do a disengage, they don't get the attack of opportunity.
Oh, well that is... Because
It's one advantage rogues have.
Yeah,
'cause they
a
can
Roomba-
basically choose not to
a
fight.
Roomba basically gets an advantage, a pack advantage against something that is engaged with someone else. Is that right? So he'd get a pack advantage. So if I disengage from the one that I'm fighting with my bonus action, and immediately just turn around, pull out my rapier, and just kind of jump at the one that he's fighting, I'm going to give him an advantage on his rolls.
Yeah,
Right.
within 5 feet,
But I will still
as long
be...
as you're not incapacitated.
Yeah, but I'm still going to be in danger.
We're all in danger.
Yes, but I fight better
Does
at
that
long
map
range.
help, by the way?
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, that
Very
I,
much so.
I like that a lot. I think that the chat likes that a lot too.
Yeah, my chat is very happy with it too. Well, they should be. Ungrateful sots. Look at that masterwork piece of art there. He was in a fey mood when he
Yeah.
made that. But the alternative is if I disengage as a bonus action, move 30 feet backwards out of the building and then shoot in. Would take me out of range because I've only got 13 hit points. And I've seen these things do almost all of that in one attack on a few occasions. So I'm very aware of how squishy Melfast is. Plus, I would get bonus damage to any of the ghouls that I attacked that were fighting someone else. So it's really a toss-up between that. How much damage would a Roomba get? Roughly how much damage would you be able to do if I was giving you advantage to your attack rolls? Because we'll assume you hit.
Well,
How much damage do you do
Okay,
then?
okay. Assuming you give me advantage, I think the way it would work, since I have disadvantage from being poisoned, is that not you said it wasn't permanent, but
For that round.
so do I have to do like a saving throw against poison every round to determine if I have advantage or disadvantage? E.
Yeah, your advantage from being in pack tactics would counter the poison. The poison is currently for this round. I can't really tell you what will happen next round. You don't.
So
know.
assuming, okay, so either I would have passed, here's my assumption. I don't know if this is correct or not, but either I would pass the poison, like smelling the badness, and then I would have an advantage, or I would fail it, and you giving me advantage would give me equal, like neutral.
Okay. How much
You'd
damage can
counteract
you
with
do when
disadvantage.
you hit something?
When I hit something, I currently do 10 damage average, and I have a pretty good chance of knocking it prone, depending on their strength.
I will have to push you because this is combat time.
Okay. I'll go ahead and roll with that attack. I think giving our strongest combatant an advantage is worth me being in a risky position. So I'm going to use my bonus action to disengage from the ghoul that I'm fighting. I'm going to turn around immediately. In fact, I'm just going to let my bow drop, draw my rapier, and engage the large lumbering brute from behind.
Okay.